folks, and welcome to Subjective Thoughts. And our comic for today is Canto, A Place Like Home, Issue 6 by Dark Horse. Now, there is just sadness in this one, so if you are in any way squeamish, you have been warned. Also, spoilers. Alright, here's the team. So finally, I've been waiting and waiting because the shipments are stuck, but finally I received the last issue of Canto, A Place Like Home. And I've also finally read it today. I just, I was so happy. But also a little sad because for now the story is done. So let's get into it. So when we left off Kento in issue 5, he has finally given the Shrouded Man his heart back, and the Shrouded Man was a man again, though not blonde. And he grabbed Kento's lifeless body and took him to the Lionheart Valley. To Lionheart Valley. Went into I forgot what the place was, but he went in through those big doors, and his friends, Kento's friends, were riding after him, trying to reach him, but they didn't make it in time. And so this one begins with there's bright white light everywhere and says, "I am lost." And we see the Shrouded Man, he's in the same place Kento was, behind those doors, when he went to find the Shrouded Man's heart. And so the lady there that is the princess, it appears, and the Shrouded Man talks to her, and he's like, what is there left for me? And she tells him there is a path for you if you're willing to take it. And he tells her how he's taken everything, not everything, but so much away from Kento. And then when Kento gave him back his heart, he finally understood that he was wrong all this time. And then she tells him when the mind is not led with the heart, we make bad choices. It's something to that effect. Or we go astray, I think. Yeah, I think this we go astray. And he wants to at least give something to Kento. Isn't there anything that he has left that he can give him? After everything that he made Kento go through. And she tells him, well, Kento always gave away love freely. Even when he came here, when he took your heart, and to the very end. So maybe now you can give some back. And the Shrouded Man puts his hand on Kento's open chest, and some yellow light begins to glow. I think he's giving Kento either. I think what happens is he gives him his heart back. He's giving the heart that Kento went through all to give him, and he gives him the heart back. And then it's glowing, and you see the Shrouded Man hold the hand of the princess. And then there's not monologue, but narration, which is between Kento and his beloved, like how they took, and he said, when I come back, I will know the end of the story. Then we'll know the end of the story. So then more light becomes brighter. There are flowers and grass around Kento, and he's in this beautiful field of flowers. Then we see his friends. They're outside, and like the Lionheart Valley has now returned to what it used to be. It's now a beautiful valley of flowers. And then one of the little knights. There's 3 ones that went to help Kento. I just forget their names, but he says, it can't be, is that? And then he says, I'm afraid Kento comes out behind a rock and is like, I'm afraid so, Rakata. You're stuck with me for a little while longer. And then everyone has a group hug. with Kento's Molrax friend and also Zixia. Zixia? Yeah, Zixia was there too. But I didn't get that. He says Rakata, but the little knight that pointed wasn't Rakata. Okay, then never mind. Maybe it was a mistake. So we move on. That's it. Everyone's free. The shrouded man is gone. They return back to Arcana, and then Kento tells not tells, but he starts to say goodbye. No, wait. First, that's it. The war's over. Kento goes to Aluara's village. But before that, he says how he wished he could have, spoken to Elder, to us, I think the other their female knight friend that died in the second series. But yes, and he wished he could talk to them. He wished he could talk to Aluara. And he goes back and he tells Aluara's daughter, Cass was her name? Yeah, Cass. And he's like, and she's like, "Oh, did we win? Where is mom?" And he says, "Yes, we did win, but your mom is gone." Cass is sitting on the pier where she and her mom had their last conversation. And she asks her, no, "I'm just afraid." Kento goes to talk to her, and I'm afraid to forget her. And he said, "Yes, but do you know a way that we can always remember?" And I also asked, "Did your mom give you a way to never forget her?" And she said, "Yes. She told me to look into my heart and remember the stories." And he says, "Well, that's how we'll remember her. We'll tell the story of how she rescued Zixia, or dragon, to everyone we meet. So that way, even after we're gone, the stories will remain." And then you see Cass hugging Zixia. Then we move on to Kento saying goodbye to his friends. He's saying goodbye to everyone, to all of the little knights, to Rakata, Falco, those three little knights that helped them, that other lady knight that helped, to the two giants, uh, Ba and Fa. He tells them goodbye as well. Well, not goodbye, he says. This is a see you soon. And then we see him, he's talking to his beloved. She's in her glass casket. There we go. Yeah, she's in her glass. Oh, sorry. At first, he's talking to his beloved in her glass casket and tells her that the one thing that the one promise he didn't keep was the promise to bring her, to give her a name like she has given him. Because she named him Kento. And after that, he says goodbye to all of his friends. Before that, as he's with the casket, what's her name? Elda, the witch, they're supposed to be like Baba Yaga a little bit. She said, "Are you ready to go? You sure you want to leave?" And he says, "Yes, the world is vast, and I need to. There are probably other creatures in the unnamed world that need help. The Shrouded Man was not the only evil one." So yeah, then he says goodbye. And then I gotta read this too. So he's leaving New Arcana, and then you got all the little metal knights and the Molraxes. And as he's leaving, they'll say, "For our days that have passed, for our friends who are gone, for the hearts we possess." And then Kanto finishes, "Our life is our own." It's kind of like their mantra now, they're saying. And then there's a quote here from Dante Alighieri, Kanto something. And you see Kanto leaving through the gate on his Molrax. And then we also got a little epilogue where Kanto is with his Molrax. They are sitting. Oh yeah, and before this, yes, he's gonna leave, and he promises to his beloved when he comes back, he'll give her a name. So okay, now the epilogue. He's with his friend the Molrax. He says, "Come to think of it, I need to give you a name. My friend can only work for so long." And then he says, Laura told me that in the high dialect, Miko is the word for friend. So what do you say? You don't look like a Miko. Doesn't really fit such a fear beast as yourself. But I know how you really are. And Kento's hugging them, and then it ends with both of them sleeping. Sorry, yeah, that's it. Sleeping in the fire. And after that, it's kind of like the adventure's gonna continue. So okay, so first cover. It's a nice cover. It's got the kind of ominous, isn't it? You just got the axe sticking there in the ground. And maybe it's kind of to show, one thing's over, next thing begins. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure there's a meaning to it, but I don't know. It just it looks ominous to me. Like that's it. This is over. This is where Kento's buried. I'm sure that's not the meaning, but it does look nice. Well, I suppose what would you have put here? Okay, let me show you. I'll show you these two pages, and that's it. This is still really new. So here's our shrouded man. The first page is just basically this background, so there's not much to show. You see, there's the princess over there. And there we go. There's little Kento, lifeless, because he gave the heart to the shrouded man. So the art is always as good. The colors, as always, are just amazing. Okay, now to the story. So, as this new series came out, I was, thinking, oh, I hope the ending won't be disappointing. And the ending wasn't disappointing. I thought it quite fit the tone of the whole story. I mean, I wish there was more about the Shrouded Man, who he really, how did he begin, really, and I guess I wish there was more to him, because he kind of just, I don't know, he's been punished, I suppose, with feeling everything that feeling everything that he stopped himself from feeling after he removed his heart. But still, you'd think perhaps he would have, I don't know, you get something with him. I suppose it's also a fitting end. It gives back the heart to Canto, and Canto gets to live, and he, I suppose, goes on to another kind of, to another kind of journey, if he ever comes back, that is. But yeah, I suppose that is fitting, and perhaps in a way it was, entirely about the Shrouded Man in the end. So yeah, at least, but despite everything he did, it's nice to know that he got some peace in the end. At least he found the princess again, and well, wherever they go on from now on, at least hopefully they'll be together. And for Kento too, I'm really glad that Kento lived, that he wasn't killed off, and there'll be more with him, because yeah, Kento is such a determined little metal knight, and I think it would have been a shame to just that's it end him. Although that would have been a fitting end too. He's done all that. He saved everyone. He can now rest with his beloved wherever she is. But no, Kento's gonna continue on helping more of the unnamed world or against whatever else is out there. So that is very fitting. A war has been won. Friends have been lost. Not much to do about it besides, well, go on. Like Kento says, freedom really fits his people well. It has freedom all over the unnamed world. At least the parts that the Shrouded Man was controlling. So those are now finally free. And it's a nice, bittersweet ending. Like, yeah, they're now free. Life's gonna go on much better from now on, but also friends and loved ones have been lost. Now, Cass is missing one mom, and so she has her other mom now, and Zixia. Who knows? Maybe little Cass will become a knight or a warrior like her mom one of these days and meets Kento. So now that's it. This whole long adventure is finally concluded for Kento. So yeah, I think the ending was in the end very good and very fitting. And that's it. And now it's just, as it turns out, there's going to be more Kento adventures. Which I'm quite happy about, I must say, to have more of the little knight. You know, if this is where it would have ended, that would have been very good too, I think. So yeah, this has been great. And in the future, I'm gonna like pull out all my cantos and everything and reread everything again. 'Cause I think it'll be cool to read the whole thing in succession and get the full story. Because this it took some years for all of this to finally come out. But yeah, this has been great, and I look forward to Kento's new adventures whenever those begin. So yeah, that was Kento, A Place Like Home, the last issue. So let me know what you thought about it, if you've read it, what you thought of the whole story of A Place Like Home. What'd you think of the ending? And that is it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!